Okay, so we'll start off with the main event. If you've ever seen a match where it felt like this was the greatest hits of someone's entire rivalry, that would be the Reigns Lesnar match. Love the intros. I love seeing both guys kind of do like their own thing for the intro. Lesnar started off hot, went to the outside, and like, all right, so there should be our barricade spot. There's our barricade spot. Roman took over, and all of a sudden, like, okay, where's my ref bump? There's my ref bump. All right, there's my hit Dick City. There's some Suplex City. You know, here's your F5 kick out. Here's your spear kick out. Nice to see the Kimura get thrown in there, and then it was just, you know, out of nowhere spear 1 2 3. And I was like, yeah, good epic feel to it. You know, two guys just came out and just did all of their biggest hits, and now Reigns has finally beaten Lesnar at Mania, and so here we go from there. Solid match. Good way to end it. Yeah, could have seen it going either way. Now with Reigns on it, I don't know if that means he's gonna have one title. He's gonna bounce back and forth between shows. If he'll defend both titles in one night, so then, you know, it's easier to take a title off of him and beat him because you can be guy number 2. I don't know. So now let's run through WrestleMania. Began with the triple threat tag match: RK Bro versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Shoosh. Everyone looked solid in that match. For WrestleMania Backlash, I'm entirely cool if they run that back again. I really am. I'm just that match worked so well. Seeing that springboard RKO was sick. Followed away by like a dive into me RKO. Sick. Just really well done. And then seeing them all get in the ring to share something. Bring in Gable Steveson, and Chad Gable, you know, got in his face. nice suplex by Steveson. I'm like, all right, this is good. I like it. Solid opening. Way to get the crowd pumped. The Knoxville bit. I had a hard time explaining Johnny Knoxville, Wee Man, and Chris Pontius to my 8-year-old daughter. That was probably one of the more unique parts. Lots and lots of props and lots of run-ins, which was fine. I mean, for the most part, they only really had 2 props that didn't work the way they wanted them to. The foot, and then like the mousetrap finish. I was like, oh, out of all things to not work, like the giant mousetrap finish. But, you know, crowd dug it. It was an incredibly entertaining match. It was very sports entertaining. And I think at the end of the day, it was a good match to have. Nice sheer contrast for what we end up getting later on with Mcafee. But well done. Good story. You can tell that's going to be a nice way of getting Sami Zayn out there into more mainstream. And you know, Knoxville, Joy's doing it. Crowd dug it. That's all you really can ask for in these things. Following that, of course, was the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Match, which I thought was weird. So the triple threats, you do a member of each team. I know you don't do it for a Fatal 4-Way because it just looked really clunky. But when you do a Fatal 4-Way, like if you're the champs, you have to win in order to still hold your belts. So it always seems weird when, you know, the champ's like, I want to tag out. If anyone else scores a pinfall, you lose. I mean, you have to be in there for the pinfall. And I mean, you know, everyone got to have some good spots to it. They did blare the tag collection quite a few times to get everyone to come run down to the ring and do their spots, get their stuff in. I will say finish. Finish was an illegal finish. And you're probably saying, why is it an illegal finish? Well, very, very simply put, where is my Roku remote? I don't want it to go to something else. So you had 2 times where you had tags without holding the tag rope. There are rules for a reason, ref. There are rules for a reason. Unless there's really bad camera angles. I mean, come on, Kevin Dunn. Where is the like zoom in and out of the tag rope bit that you might as well do? But Sasha and Naomi, tag champs, cool. Carmella is heading off to get married to Corey Graves, where they'll probably bang a bunch of places, according to their YouTube show. Not a bad match, did what it's supposed to do. I did think it was weird that whoever made Liv Morgan's gear probably should have been like, okay, could you bump in this? Yeah, okay. Because every bump she did seemed to blow another section of the stitching on it, which was odd. And I liked how everyone was like, okay, our team, we're not stuff that's in black. So we're smear black eye makeup. We're gonna be kind of in purple eye makeup. We're kind of like green and blue makeup. I'm dressed like a bride, and I'm a queen. No matching eye makeup? No matching eye makeup. Decent match. Lashley Omos. I thought Lashley was heading out to get shoulder surgery. Has he been drinking that John Cena blood? Because he doesn't look like someone's going to be taking any sort of surgery. Brilliant match. This seemed like this was Omos was going to get another big W. These two worked well. It's different. And to my wife, I'm like, look. She was like, how big's that other guy? I'm like, yeah, I know. Lashley's a huge dude, and he looks tiny. They did really good jobs when it came to doing, is he going to be up for a suplex? Did that. The to the back spear seemed like it was just mistiming, which they ran back later on in the night too, which is probably a problem when you've got 3 matches with guys who use spears. Just saying. You could put Lashley and Omos on the night before, so you don't have 3 guys who have spear-based finishers. Just saying. Having Lashley get the victory, it was like, ooh, okay, Omos undefeated for a year. Lashley gets the win. And I was like, okay. So we've got Lashley maybe gunning for a title. We've got McIntyre gunning for a title. Lashley Reigns, I can dig that. McIntyre Reigns, we know that works. Iron Man. So Sheamus and Ridge Holland and Butch, Wiley, Crazy Butch, got to take on the New Day, which was a match from last night that didn't happen, that happened this night. And it was incredibly short, with interference and Sheamus and Ridge getting the victory. Okay. I know you got to put the New Day on the big stage. I get it. But this really could have. It's a match we've seen so many times on SmackDown. It didn't feel like it was that, grandiose of a match for this. Add JJ Styles. So with Taker in the Hall of Fame and H retiring, I think they had a lot more like extra gear laying around. They're like, well, we've got a lot of purple light effects and pyro. The Taker's not going to use anymore. Okay. Got a throne that H isn't going to use anymore. Got a lot of purple and black fabric too. Got like a pleather material, and that just went, I will take it all. Do you have skull iconography as well? Sure. I loved the beginning with, do you think you know me? You never did. And I was like, brilliant. Just take your song lyrics, do stuff with it. I loved this match. Such great back and forth. This was truly the human game of chess. I like how they did the feeling out process. With the announcers going, no one wants to make a mistake. The first big mistake was going to finish this match. I like how they worked body parts. Like, I'm working your ribs, because I know you're going to need that for your explosiveness. I'm working your legs, because I know you're going to need that for your spear. And I was like, this is such a well-constructed match. It's beautiful. And I'd read about, Edge doing a group, and then I was like, Ram Damian Priest appears. He casts Distraction because he had full MP. It's super effective. And then Edge was able to hit a wicked midair spear. And then when he did that, a nice good 1, 2, 3, solid match. I was really cool with that. I'm like, that works. McAfee Theory. McAfee super over. Incredibly athletic. You saw his stuff in NXT with Adam Cole and his match in War Games. He knows what he's doing in there. He got the victory over Theory. Crowd went hot for it. Then we got to see McMahon take on McAfee. Lots of smoke and mirrors for that. Lots of attacks from Theory by behind. McMahon pinned McAfee, and I was like, for McMahon's age, he looks pretty good. He took the jacket off and he took his shirt off. He's still defined, but he's all like, weird looking. But he's like in his 70s, so it makes sense. And then Austin's music hit, and I was like, oh, does Teddy Long live in Dallas, Texas? I want to hear someone say, we got a tag match, play it. But no, instead Austin just went to the ring, beat up Austin Theory. Theory took a great bump for that. And it was McMahon and Austin. They did you have a beer. McMahon took his worst bump ever for a stunner, much worse than the first one he ever took from it. But he's 70. I don't expect anyone awesome bump for it. Shared some beers with McAfee. McAfee took a great stunner, mouthful of beer, did the spray. Oh, it was great. Really, really fantastic. You could tell Steve was digging it, crowd was loving it. McAfee, you could tell he was loving it. And it's a great beer commercial. And the main event, Reigns going over, okay. I found their match have a great big fight feel to it, but I think we've seen them fight so many times, especially at WrestleMania. Their matches are very similar. I mean, it was good to see different stakes for this one, but it felt like a match that I'd seen before. So I mentioned it was like a greatest hits. Still a really good match, but I'm like, okay, I'm cool if I don't see these guys fight again for a while. So, solid 2 nights. This has been absolutely draining to have been there live. But doing 2 nights makes sense. It allows you to do, a lot of matches. But, I'm very glad with the $5 every month that I spend on Peacock. So if you're watching stuff live and you have the ad-supported version, they just throw on the random ads every now and then, but not during matches. So I get to miss, the random hype packages for things that I already know because I watch this stuff anyways.